Good afternoon and welcome to this week's Auchmuty High School update. Now firstly, can I apologise for not coming back sooner with more information, but the fact is we didn't have that information till yesterday. You will be aware that an announcement was made in the Scottish Parliament, and that was when we found out what was happening as well. Now we've now got that information. I'm glad to say we've been able to act on it quite quickly, and what I'm able to do today is give you some details of what's now going to happen. So firstly, let me start by saying that was some great news yesterday. We're going to have a full return to school on the 12th of April with all pupils back in school. They'll be wearing masks, we'll have the one-way system and hand cleaning and so on, but they will all be able to return to full classes. So that is the best news possible. It'll give us 11 weeks of term ahead of us, which hopefully will be uninterrupted, and we'll see something like a return to normality. I think something that we can all celebrate, and it's been a long time coming. However, before we get there, we've been given a last hurdle to clear, and it's quite an interesting challenge. What we've been asked to do is to bring all pupils in from Monday, the 15th of March, at some point during that week and the following week, that's the last 2 weeks of term, to give them an in-school learning experience rather than obviously distance learning at home. And what we have got to do though is ensure that we maintain 2 metre social distancing within the school at that time, which means we can only have a maximum of 8 pupils in any classroom. So you can see it's quite a conundrum, and we do now have an idea of how we're going to do this. And I'm going to share with you the beginnings of these ideas today, and more information to come in detail in the following days up to the 15th. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in different year groups on different days. So on Monday the 15th of March, we will bring in the 5th and 6th years. On Tuesday, the 4th years will have an opportunity to come into school. On Wednesday, the 1st years will have an opportunity. On the Thursday, it'll be 2nd year. And on Friday, it will be the 3rd years who come into school. Now, when they come into school, we'll be able to put them in rooms and give them a teacher who will be with them for the day, and we will be able to ensure that they have access to laptops so that they have materials to work with, and the home learning platform that they're able to access at home will be readily available to them in school to ensure that they have that experience and that work. Now for younger year groups, we can put quite a bit of structuring into this in one way or another, and we can make sure that there's a commonality about what we're doing, and it'll feel, more like a normal school day and so on. For older pupils, they really need to maintain the choice of what they're studying and the subjects. And I think we've got to be clear that a large part of this experience is to give pupils the opportunity just to simply come back into school and get used to the school environment again. So we're not running a timetable at this stage. We're not able to do that under those conditions, but we are making sure that there is provision for study within the school, and that pupils will be able to work with the teacher that's in the class in the morning, another teacher in the afternoon, and so on. Now there's a range of other matters around this, for example the arrangements for lunches, etc., etc., and we'll come back to those in due course. But at the moment, I think it's just important to say that that's what the provision will be on the last 2 weeks of term, starting on Monday the 15th of March. Now, the children who are in the hub and those who are doing SQA work for their examinations, such as music technologists, for example, who are doing their projects, or the graphic communication students, they will continue doing that. So as well as having the day-to-day provision, we'll also maintain a hub provision, and we will maintain the SQA provision within the school. So all of this will be achieved, and on top of that, we're also able to maintain the home learning platform, because at any one time, roughly about 50% of our staff will be working in school and 50% will be working outside of school. So we're trying to make the best of all worlds. We think we're meeting the challenge that the Scottish Government have set us quite well, and we're hoping it's going to be a really successful 2 weeks for your children when they come back and start re-engaging properly with the school. Now, as I say, more details on that to come, but I'm going to finish by talking a little bit just about the SQA courses. Now, at the present time, the priority is to finish the courses to make sure that all the learning's in place, and many courses are at that stage now. And what we've now got to do is think ahead about, well, what happens after that in terms of arriving at that final grade for the course that is going to be submitted to the Scottish Qualifications Authority. And what will happen is that at the start of the term, so this is a return after Easter on the 12th of April, we will be looking at a 2 or 3 week settling in period where children simply get the chance to come back into school, do more work on their courses, make sure a bit of consolidation's done, and to really start focusing on the assessment that will be done beyond those 2 or 3 weeks. Now this assessment will predominantly be in class time. It'll be chunked in most cases, so you'll have an hour of a test of this, and then you'll be tested on this for an hour and so on. And this information, this testing will be brought together to start to determine a final grade for your child's course for the end of the year. And it's called a provisional grade because that's exactly what it is. It's the estimate the school's given provisionally to the SQA. Now, the good news is that we have until the last day of term, which is the 24th of June, to actually finalise these arrangements and make sure that we've done everything we can to give the pupil their best opportunity to show their best and try and get that grade as high as possible. Now that's a big change from normal years, where normally we're back after Easter for a couple of weeks, then you're into an exam diet, and it's all pretty much cut and dried by the end of May, beginning of June. This is quite different this year. We have got the whole of this term to do it. And don't forget, there's been a number of courses and changes, course changes I should say, made so that we're not testing the whole provision in many courses, and there's various other things. For example, if your children are doing National 3 and National 4, the added value unit, which is a big chunk of work, has been removed. You now only have to sit 3 unit tests in most cases, or 4 in some courses, to pass the National 3 or the National 4 course. So there has been concessions made to the situation that we find ourselves in this year, but at the end of the day, we've now got to get really focused on this assessment. So what I would say is, if your children are studying for the SQA exams, this is a great opportunity, a great time to start looking at the past papers, knowing that the type of questions that are found online on the past papers, which are readily available, will be exactly like the sort of thing they're going to be tested on in class. And we will make sure ahead of these assessments that children are made fully aware of what these assessments are going to look like, what's going to be tested, and hopefully we're going to have some success with this. So, I just say that I really hope that you and your family are staying safe and well, and please continue to do so. Thank you so much for listening today, and like I say, great news. I am really looking forward to the school becoming something back to a normal state in the not too distant future. Thank you very much. Thank you.